Hello students, a warm welcome in my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be discussing about sickle cell anemia. First, we will define what do you mean by sickle cell anemia. So, what do you mean by sickle cell anemia? It is a group of disease related with hemoglobinopathies. That means the disease is related with hemoglobin. So, in hemoglobin, what is happening? The adult hemoglobin HbA, it is partially or completed. It is replaced with abnormal hemoglobin, that is HbS. HbA is adult hemoglobin and HbS is sickle-shaped hemoglobin. So in hemoglobin, the HbA it is replaced with abnormal HbS. Second thing is, it is an inherited form of anemia. Inherited form of anemia. So what is happening in inherited form of anemia? Because the shape of RBC it is changed. In HbA, that is in hemoglobin of adult, the RBC they are round in shape, they are flexible in nature and they are moving in nature. Whereas in HbS, the RBC they are sticky in nature, they are rigid and they are crescent shape. Crescent or moon shaped RBC. So what is happening when the blood is flowing? So these RBC they are sticking into the blood vessel. So inherited form of anemia in which the oxygen RBC they are not carrying adequate oxygen to the body and the person is having anemia. Third thing is, it is an autosomal recessive disorder. Autosomal recessive disorder. One more thing, what is happening in hemoglobinopathy, here the glutamic acid it is substituted by valine on the 6th position of hemoglobin chain. So when the hemoglobin is formed at the 6th position, the glutamic acid it is substituted by valine. So because of this substitution, the shape of RBC it is changed and the person is having sickle cell anemia. Now we will discuss what is the pathophysiology of sickle cell anemia. Now the pathophysiology. So in sickle cell anemia, the hemoglobin S, the RBC they are getting sticky in nature, they are rigid in nature and shape is also changed. From the round it is getting moon shape or crescent shape. Crescent shape is half moon like shape. So the RBC the shape is changed. So what is happening because of sticky nature and rigid nature, when the RBC they are moving into the blood, they are getting stick into the blood vessel. So when they are sticking into the blood vessel, the blood supply it is disturbed and it will lead to decreased oxygen to the tissues of the body and the organs. So this is the pathophysiology, how sickle cell anemia it is spread. Now we will discuss how it is transmitted. The transmission already we had discussed that it is an inherited form of anemia. So first we will discuss if a person is having normal father or one individual is normal and second is having trait. Trait means that the person is carrying sickle cell anemia. So the trait I am denoting as AS and the normal is AA. So what will be the progeny? Whereas to the first condition is one person is having trait and other individual is normal. What will be the progeny? AA, AS, AA and AS. So you can see that 50% of the persons they are normal, whereas 50% they are working as trait. That means they are carrying the sickle cell anemia. Second thing is, when both of them they are working as trait, both of parents they are working as trait. So for the trait AS and AS. So what will be the progeny? AA, AS, AS and SS. Here you can see that 25% of the progeny it is normal, 50% of the progeny it is having trait symptoms and one person is having sickle cell anemia. Now the third condition is if one person is normal. Third condition is one is healthy person and other person is having sickle cell anemia. Now what will be the progeny? AS, AS, AS and AS. That means all the four individuals, they are the carrying the trait of sickle cell anemia. And one more condition, if one person is having trait and other person is having sickle cell anemia, so what will be the progeny? AS, AS, SS and SS. That means 50% of the persons, they are having the trait characteristics and 50% they are having the sickle cell anemia. So this is how it is transmitted from one generation to next generation, and it is an inherited form of anemia. Now we will see what are the signs and symptoms a child is having if a child is having sickle cell anemia. The first thing is, because the RBC, their shape is changed. So what is the normal form of RBC? Normally RBC, they are known as erythrocyte. Erythrocyte. The process of formation of RBC is known as erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis. So RBC, what they are doing? They are transporting oxygen. The lifespan of RBC, normal RBC is 100 to 120 days. So these are normally round, flexible in nature. Round and flexible. So in sickle cell, person is having sickle cell anemia, what is happening? The lifespan is also decreased because RBC, they are not carrying oxygen, they are not round, lifespan decrease 10 to 20 days. The shape is also changed, it is crescent or moon shape. Second is, the oxygen carrying capacity is also decreased because of decrease in the structure or the shape of the RBC. So what are the signs and symptoms? Now we will be discussing. In signs and symptoms, first thing is the person will be having anemia. So why the anemia is there? Because the shape is changed. Earlier the shape was round. The normal RBC, they are round in shape. And the shape is changed, moon shape. So the capacity to carry oxygen, it is decreased. Person will be having anemia. So the signs and symptoms of anemia like fatigue and loss of energy, inability to walk, inability to do work. So signs and symptoms of anemia will be there. Second thing is the person will be having pain. The pain will be there because the blood vessels, into the blood vessels, the RBC, they are sticking. So when the RBC, they are sticking into the blood vessel, for example RBC, they stuck into the blood vessel. So what they will cause? They will lead to decreased oxygen supply. Because of decreased oxygen supply to the tissues, the person will be having dyspnea, perspiration, pain. So if these RBC, they are sticking into the blood vessel, for example into the chest, so they are causing anginal pain. If they are sticking into the leg, they will cause bone pain. So they are affecting the eye also, the retinal pain, blurred vision, all the signs, all where in the body, these RBC, they are affecting the circulation and they will lead to decreased oxygen supply and person will be having pain. Next thing is the person may have into the leg and the feet, there will be swelling because of blocking or because of the sticking of RBC into the blood vessels. So in the whole body, wherever the blood vessels, into the blood vessel, wherever the RBC, they are sticking, person will be having the pain. Now we will see how it is affecting each and every system. So there is one diagram, we will make it and we will learn on each and every system the RBC, the oxygen supply, it is going to affect. Now we will see in the whole body how sickle cell anemia it is affecting. In the brain, it may lead to stroke, paralysis and death. In eyes, it will lead to retinopathy and blindness because of sticking of the sickle shaped RBC into the retina and the eye. In the shoulder, it will lead to avascular necrosis. In the heart, it will cause CHF angina, infraction and hypertension. In liver it will cause hepatomegaly. In spleen, splenomegaly. It will lead to hand-foot syndrome, that is dactylitis, inflammation of the digit. In the hip it will lead to avascular necrosis. In the bone it will lead to pain or osteomyelitis. In the reproductive system it may lead to priapism, that is painful erection of the penis, and in kidney it will lead to hematuria or the dilute urine. Stomach it may lead to chronic ulcer. In the blood it may lead to hemolysis and anemia, and on the respiratory system it will lead to pneumonia and atelectasis. So you can see that because of sticking of the RBC and decreased oxygen supply, it is affecting the whole body. Now we will discuss how we will diagnose if a person is having sickle cell anemia. For the diagnosis, we will collect the history, physical examination to be performed, and hemoglobin for the sickle cell to be screened. For sickle cell, it should be screened out. If it is finding negative, HbS negative, that means person is not having sickle cell anemia, and if it HbS positive, person is having sickle cell anemia. CT scan, MRI, ultrasound to investigate which all organs that have been involved into the sickle cell anemia. Now we will discuss about the management, how we will manage if a person is having sickle cell anemia. First we will manage the anemia. Because of anemia, person may have decreased oxygen supply, oxygen therapy can be given, rest should be provided, person should be fatigued, hydration status should be maintained for the child, person is having tachycardia, tachypnea, head of bed should be elevated. Okay. Second thing is, because the person is having the blockage, so analgesics can be given or antibiotic therapy can be given to the person because the person is having infection. Second thing is, electrolyte imbalance should be maintained. Hydration therapy, the person electrolytes should be maintained. Next thing is, vaccination can be given to the child from pneumococcal infection because pneumonia is the one of the infection that person will get. So pneumococcal vaccination can be given to the person. So next thing is gene therapy, because we have discussed glutamic acid, it is replaced by valine. So gene therapy can be given. Next is bone marrow transplantation therapy, because the cells they are formed, RBC they are formed into the bone marrow, so the transplantation it can be done. Splenectomy, that is removal of the spleen. So these are the management how we can able to manage sickle cell anemia. Thanks for watching. If you are having any comment, you can write it to the comment box. Thank you.